How young is too young when it comes to actually investing in real estate and buying property? You know, I get this question probably more than any other question that I get on my entire channel, is people always want to know, when can I start investing? I mean, a lot of you know that I actually started in the game of real estate when I was super young, as in like, I was 23 when I bought my first house. I started working for it and saving when I was 22. And I got a group of guys here from YouTube that are all asking the question. And so we put them together so that we can actually answer, when can you actually start investing in real estate? Come on in.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
What's up, Kris?
Yes, what's up,
man?
my real estate homies? Listen, thank you guys, by the way, for coming in to the office. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your time. Purpose of this video is to really talk about real estate and age, because there's a lot of people out there like, I'm too young, I'm too young, I'm too young. And then we got the other end of the spectrum that's like, I'm too old, I'm too old. It's just like, geez, you guys have an excuse for everything. But the young thing is such a popular excuse that really I want to kibosh it, because people will often watch me and they'll be like, well, dude, Kris, you're an anomaly, right? You're 23 years old, you did something weird, you built your wealth when you were in college, you know, when everyone else was focusing on their education. Listen, I got my degree, I got married, I got my honey, and I got my MBA, my massive bank account, AKA real estate. So reality is age doesn't matter that much. I think maturity is altogether something important that should be considered, but I've called you here because you represent young 20s to 30 getting started in the game of real estate, and I want them to know that there are people out there that are actually doing this and crushing it in real estate. So, first of all, have you guys bought real estate?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Let's go down the line. Cole, let's start with you.
Yeah.
You're our youngest one here. How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
You're freaking younger than me when I bought my first house. Are you kidding me? How cool is that? It's like one of my goals. 22, and how did you get that first home?
It was through my brother-in-law and sister, bringing them on here, partnering with you, and now I'm getting my first personal deal here in the next week.
Guys, I have a ton of young people that basically say, I'm too young, and I basically said, fine, then I'll partner with you where you don't need money and you don't need credit. So you're gonna hear that a little bit here. All their stories are different, unique. You know, but for Cole here, he basically said, hey, I don't got money, I'm young, but you know what I have? I have relationship power, so we introduced some people that chose to partner with me in my nationwide investing program here in America. People from all over the world are doing that. And because your family got involved, they've now bought how many homes?
4.
They bought freaking 4 homes, and you were part owner on all of those.
All 4 of them.
You're equal owners with me.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about that?
I feel great.
Are you pumped?
So pumped.
Now here's the cool part. Because Cole has now bought these 4 homes, confidence, is it up or down?
Way up.
It's way up, and you've now been saving for the last 9 months, and you have money to actually put money down on your own deal.
Yo.
Dude, are you pumped about
I'm
that?
so excited.
Dude, kid started with nothing, exited the construction industry. I was there when he burned his hat and basically said, I'm changing my flag, I'm changing my colors, we're gonna make this happen. He's got $30,000 in his bank account, 22, getting ready to buy a property for him. Now, dude, that is awesome. So by the way, if you're younger than 22, let me ask you, if you had my mentorship 2 years ago, do you think you could do this?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so by the way, he is 22 saying you could do this even younger. Guys, in truth, we have teenagers that are out there doing real estate. Let's kind of work on down. So, Jake, tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, I'm 24 years old. Mine's a little bit different than Cole's because I use social media to find my first partners. And I was able to do my first deal at 23, no credit, no money, and actually before my own personal residence that I'm going to be getting this next year. And, you know, I didn't have to do anything except for make the right connection between people who did have money that wasn't working for them and the individual that has years of experience.
Now pause, look at how freaking backwards this is. Neither of them have bought homes for themselves. They're too busy freaking investing and building and getting ahead. That is super awesome, that's incredible. So, by the way, are you continuing to now let people on social media know what you're up to so you can find more partners?
Absolutely. Every day I make a point to get out there and share this incredible, you know, wealth building tool that I've learned to be real estate.
So you're pretty goal oriented. I'm just curious, do you have a goal for your future? Like when I'm 30 years old, or you know, like, I want to own X number of houses. Like,
yeah.
What's your goal?
So whether it's through all single family homes or, you know, through doing multifamily as well, I need 167 basically properties, cash flow $500 per month to make $1 million per year. That's my goal.
All right, dude. Focus, knows his numbers, knows what he's after, and dude, he's on his way. Congratulations. Dude, Carson, so Carson's actually a really important member of our team. We're shooting this video. I'm like, dude, everyone here is freaking younger than me. So Carson is executive director, dude. You started out in film, and then you're like, what's going on here? And then bought real estate? Tell me about it.
So yeah, I mean, we're following your path. Buy primary residence, so you only have to put the 5% down, and then you rent out the basement. And having someone else subsidize your mortgage, like the amount that we've been able to save to jump into our next home, it's incredible.
Awesome. What's it been like feeling like you're really doing something to get ahead? And my second part of that question is, do you feel like you're being smarter than a lot of the other young people your age?
Yes, absolutely. I of course have a really great job. In fact, I've got a good enough job that I could probably rely on it, to build up wealth over the years. But I've got like this ace in my back pocket where we are planning on doing this again. And as soon as we find our next house, we're looking right now. We'll have 3 rental properties because we'll do it again. We'll live in the top, rent out the basement, and then we'll have 3 doors. And that should be, covering all of our mortgage, and that expense is just gone.
Now, how old were you when you bought your first house?
I was 30.
Do you feel late to the game, early to the game?
I feel late to the game in terms that I know a lot of people that have bought houses, but I feel ahead of the game because actually all my friends look at what I'm doing and they're like, oh man, my mortgage is $2,000 a month. I wish I was doing what you were doing. And I'm like, well, you can do it. And they're like, nah.
Dude, so here's kind of the cool thing here is I think it's so important for people to walk away and know you're never too late to the party. The reality is we all get at some point in our life some type of financial awakening that says, I need to actually have a strategy and a system and a philosophy because society, they've given me a default one. And at some point you wake up and say, oh, it sucks like manure. This thing smells, it stinks. Why am I doing this, right? And so that's awesome. It's very clear that you have a very solid game plan.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Okay, so Kris, tell us a little about your situation.
Yeah, so I'm 35 now, and I'm on year 9 of my real estate journey.
You're 9, so you've been...
So I've been doing this for 9 years, and I belong to the old school. When me and my wife got married, we knew that, I had a decent job, she had a decent job. We knew we had income coming in. It wasn't a ton, it was enough to make ends meet, but we knew we needed to build something for our future. Because I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I don't have faith in the system society or the government or whatever has created for retirement.
Is that where you wear black leather? Is that what that resembles? It's like, screw you all, I'm going to do it myself.
Yes, because I trust myself more than I trust Uncle Sam.
I think that's really smart. I think that you have, I love that confidence. And you've been on your path for 9 years, so what does that look like?
Oh, it's been beautiful. So when me and my wife first got married and before we started having kids, we made the decision as a couple that real estate investing was going to be our way of guaranteeing the future. So I was working full time, I was paying the bills, but she was also working part time. We decided to save every penny she made towards the down payment on the first investment property. And it took us, we did it the old fashioned way. You guys are wonderful, you guys are taking shortcuts, you're like, hey, partner, I know people, let's partner, let's do things. I'm like, I'll do it myself. And yeah, it took me 2 years to do it. But looking back, like literally yesterday, I filled out the closing docs of property in Florida that I'm selling that I had for 5.5 years now. We're going to be walking with a pretty penny towards reinvesting. So I'm seeing kind of the midway point of the journey where my initial investments at the beginning, they're rolling over and my cash cows are having the baby cows. We're going to be raising a whole herd of wonderful things.
All right, well now I want to ask you this because I know something a little about this because I remember you telling me something. You bought several properties, but on this one in Florida, how much money did you put up?
Let me think. 0.
See, you put up no money. See, you are partnering like them. There's different versions of partnering in this whole system. Like, if you're not a subscriber, you should fix that right now because this isn't just about educating you on real estate. This is showing you shortcuts that you can't find anywhere else. And for you guys, it was, you didn't have to have money to play. Sure, Kris, you started the way I did. You saved up your money just like you did, Carson, to actually get somewhere. But what you've done is you've created some hybrid action there, and you brought some other people in after you showed them your track record. They're not putting up the money. You're doing deals. What does it feel like when you get that check and you know that you didn't put money in, but you helped make it happen? How's that going to feel when you get that check?
Honestly, it feels amazing. Because you're right, I'm doing a hybrid approach where I'm doing everything that I personally can.
Yeah.
Because I believe in moving myself forward. And then I'm supplementing that by making deals, by finding people who want a solution that I can provide and making a win-win for both of us. For me, getting probably going to be a 5-digit paycheck without having to put a single dollar down It's a good.
That's called an
That's a good
infinite.
ROI.
That's an infinite ROI. That feels
And
that
the
feels
person I'm
good.
working with is stoked because he was able to divert some of his assets that were earning Jack in an IRA.
What Jack? What's that mean?
Jack, it's
Okay.
zero.
Jackpot.
But he was able to position that into a place where it was earning more than 4 times what it was getting in its old investment.
Yeah.
With paying me my portion.
Yeah.
So he's coming out ahead. I'm coming out ahead.
I love
His
it.
wife is the happiest person there because she's seen their nest egg actually do something.
Yep.
So everybody's happy.
Dude, that's fantastic. So in a moment, I want to come and just see real quick, if you had 10 seconds, what's your last bit of advice you'd give for the young people? I want you to know this. If you're watching this because you're just doubting whether you're old enough to actually do this, at some point, you have to grow up and choose what kind of woman, what kind of man that you want to become. You have to decide what destiny you want to manifest. Society, they've got a crappy destiny lined up for you. Most careers have a really sucky destiny at the end of the road. They're going to give you a really nice watch and say, thank you for giving me all of your best working years, and I'm sorry that I'm leaving you with not enough. I wish you had been smarter. The purpose of the video is to say, be smart now, and if you're wondering whether you're too young, you're probably at the perfect age to actually get ahead in the game. And it's not a function of how much money you have or how good your credit is. It's about how resourceful you are. The more resourceful you are, you can rise up and make things happen. If you don't know what that means, all of you guys have been to the events that we put on here on a quarterly basis here in our event center. I mean, we show people how to be resourceful and find ways when it looks like there really aren't any. So for anyone watching this that's wondering, am I too young? What advice would you give them? Who wants to go first?
I'd love to. I would say you're never too young to get started with a mentor. The wheel has been invented. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Go with someone who's already done it and get started on your track to success today.
Awesome, thank you.
I'll go next. In all honesty, just decide that you're going to do something, because it's something you teach us all the time. The how's going to come to you if you just decide that you're going to be something and that you're going to make it happen.
I love this, by the way. He says that if you make the decision that I'm starting, I'm doing it, I'm in, that only then will the how manifest. Most people are like, I'll do it only when everything makes sense and I know everything under the sun and I have no unanswered questions. I'm like, you'll be dead. You'll be dead 10 times over. So fantastic advice. Carson?
The age is not the element that really matters. Proximity is. It's who you're surrounded with. That's how you get resourceful. Like you said, it's your relationship capital, not your age, that's going to make a difference. When I did my deal, I bought it from Tyler Bennett on our acquisitions team. Brandon Grange was my realtor on our acquisitions team. Dustin Raines helped me get the loan. He was just down the hall from us in our office. And then you as my employer helped make it all happen. I mean, everybody was right there. It was literal proximity to make that deal happen. And honestly, it's like the best thing that's ever happened.
So you're basically saying, make sure you're really careful who you associate with, and then get super intentional about associating with people that can elevate you.
Yep. Real estate is not about homes, it's about people.
Love it. Perfect. Kris, what kind of final advice?
Actually, I'm going to echo that with an entirely different spin. Real estate is about people. 10% of it's going to be about mechanical. What does a home do? What does it look like? What's the criteria? That's only 10%. The other 90% is all you. Are you ready to take that step? Are you ready? Are you disciplined? Do you have a strategy for you in place? Because I'll tell you, I've worked with hundreds of investors over the last 9 years. Those who succeeded had mastered the game of themselves first, and that led to mastery of real estate.
So guys, check it out. You've heard it from these amazing individuals. I'm not the only one. And by the way, there's countless of you also out there. Comment below. And if you've liked this video, and if you're making the decision that, you know what, regardless of age, I'm committed, I'm getting started this time, I want you to smash that like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this is worthy for them to share with other people. I have a goal of hitting 10 million subscribers and helping what I hope will end up being hundreds of millions of people find financial confidence to start controlling and managing their own financial destiny. I want to thank you guys for being here today. And for you watching this, final bit of advice. At the bottom of this video, I've actually linked another video that if you like this, you're going to love this next one. I actually shared the 4 things that I did by the age of 26 to buy 25 homes that led to my personal financial freedom. I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for that in your life, you're going to find it on that next video. So click that in the description below, or it's popping up right over here, and we'll look forward to empowering you with the exact how-to to start making that wealth happen right now.